Alaikum. Today I will talk about press conferences and written documents. Arranging a press conference. What is a press conference? A press conference is a tool designed to generate news, in particular hard news, that can advance the cause of your organization. Hard news is defined as a story in print or electronic media which is timely, significant, prominent, and relevant. What are the benefits of holding a press conference? You can give more information than in a press release. A press conference is interactive. You can answer questions from the press and emphasize points you may not otherwise have a chance to make. You can announce an important development and explain its significant local and wider implications. You can set the record straight if your group received negative publicity. You can often generate the kind of notice or publicity, a spot on the 6 o'clock TV news, for example, that you'd otherwise have to pay a large amount for. When many media representatives are present, it makes your conference seem really newsworthy. The media presence itself adds to the importance. A successful media conference can not only generate news, but can also boost the morale of your own group. That is, your group can take pride in knowing that the press will really turn out to hear what you have to say. When should you hold a press conference? What are the best times? When the event includes a prominent individual to whom the media should have access to. For example, Greta Thunberg. When you have significant announcements to make, such as a campaign commencement, the start of a campaign, like an anti-smoking campaign, or a lobbying victory. For example, a health advocacy group lobbies the government to ban smoking in public places. When there is an emergency or crisis centered around your group or the issues it deals with, for example, COVID-19 updates, safety measurements, lockdowns, and so forth. When should you hold a press conference? When a number of groups are participating in an action and the show of support will emphasize that this action is news. For example, NGOs come together to demand better public transportation. When you want to react to a related event, for example, when a national report relevant to your issue is released. After government releases a report on rising youth unemployment, your organization holds a press conference to respond with solutions and highlight concerns. How do you hold a press conference? Before the press conference, you can start planning. It can be planned at short notice or a week or two before the press conference. Define the message. Define the key messages that you and your group are trying to get out to the community. Your goal may be to introduce or shed more light on your issue, to announce a new program or event, to react to a news story, or to a criticism of an attack on your effort, or to draw attention to an honor or award your effort has earned. Message must be summarized in clear 3 to 5 key points to the press. If a date, a time, an address, a phone number, or other specific information is part of the message, if the purpose of the press conference is to announce, for example, an upcoming event, make sure to give the information more than once and to have it displayed prominently in your press kit. Double or triple check any information to make sure that you have it right, both in speech and in print. Schedule the date and time. You and your group will need to determine a date and time for the press conference, and make sure it doesn't conflict with other press events or media deadlines. Check with media on any conflicts. Best days and time. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are the best days for press conferences, as they are considered slower news days. Try to have your press conference on one of these days if possible. The best time to schedule your press conference is between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. to ensure maximum coverage by the media. If you schedule it later, you risk missing the afternoon paper or evening news. Remember, you are competing with all the other news of the day, so don't be too worried if everyone doesn't show up. Pick the site, a location with adequate parking and is not too far away for reporters to travel. A site that provides visual interest and relationship to each topic, such as the state capitol building, city courthouse, or a local clinic or other site where the activities you're talking about are actually going on. Pick a location relatively free from high levels of background noise, for example, traffic, telephones, aircraft, and one which has unique electrical outlets and extension cords for lighting. Select people with high credibility to speak in your press conference, such as local politicians, the director of a local health promotion organization, or a physician may make effective spokespeople. First-hand testimony from people from the community affected by the issue can be extremely powerful and convincing. Here are a few tips for participants. Be clear and concise. Avoid using jargons, rhetoric, or inflammatory language and stifle ums and ohs and ahs. You want to draw attention to the issue, not distract the audience with your words. Assume the audience is intelligent. Avoid sounding patronizing. Don't fiddle with your clutch anything. It's distracting and makes you appear nervous. Appearance counts. Participants should be dressed neatly and appropriately for the occasion. Always tell the truth. If you don't know the answer to a question, say so. Don't exaggerate or give figures that aren't backed up by evidence, and don't state opinions as facts or make charges that can't be proven. Find a moderator who is experienced with the press and the issue. He or she will be in charge of convening the press conference by introducing the issue and participants. The moderator also answers questions or directs them to the appropriate participants. Best to do a dress rehearsal. A suitable response to a tough or misguided question might be, "That's a good question, but it is not within the scope of this press conference. Our focus today is on," if the question is legitimate but you don't know the answer to it, it's okay to call on someone else from your group who might know, or check out the answer and get back to that reporter later. Contact the media. Create a comprehensive mailing list of assignment editors at television stations, news directors at radio stations, and at major newspapers, and editors at weekly newspapers. You will also want to have a press advisory prepared and mailed about 1 week ahead of time to inform the media about the press conference. Of course, they can be emailed. A press advisory is similar to a press release, with the difference being that press advisories can be used for background information to your media contacts. The format is basically the same as that of a press release. After you and your group have mailed the press advisories to the media, you will want to follow up your press advisory with phone contact to the major media outlets. Give your press advisory 3 days to arrive, and then begin your telephone follow-ups with the people you send your press advisory to. If they say they never got one, offer to bring or email one to them. Also follow up a second time the morning of the press conference. Develop a press kit. A press kit is a folder of information to give reporters background information about your issue or program. Press kits are useful if your group can afford it. If a press kit is beyond your budget, a press advisory will do. Your press kit should contain the following: a list of press conference participants, a press release which should state your group's position on the issue, highlights of the press conference, and a few quotes from participants, background information about the issue, statistics, historical background, case histories, or reprints of news stories. A few black and white glossy photos can be included, short, less than a page biographies of all participants, related news stories from prestigious national publications. Putting the kit together, the press release goes in the right-hand side of the folder, and the other information goes on the left-hand side of the folder. You can use Canva for creating a digital or printed press release. Press kit. Preparing the room. There are a number of things you can do to prepare the room you're holding the press conference in. Here are some tips. Check the location of electrical outlets for microphones and lights. Set up the room with a table long enough to seat all your spokespeople with name cards. Provide enough seating in the room for reporters and enough room for their supporting equipment, for example, cameras, microphones. Display visuals as a backdrop to your speaker's table, charts, posters. Have a sign-in pad for attendance. Provide a podium for the moderator, perhaps with your organization's logo on it. Have coffee, tea, water, and any other refreshments set up. When the big day finally arrives, there are a number of things you and your group can do to help your press conference run as smoothly as possible. And these are the steps. Welcome members of the press as they arrive. Have members of the press sign in with their affiliation. Give them, each of them, a press kit. Seat the press conference participants behind the table facing the seated reporters. Check the sign-in pad to see which media outlets are represented. You may also want to make personal contact with major media reps before or after the press conference. When the one more, start approximately on time, no later than 5 minutes after the scheduled time. Record the event for your own records and for possible media use. Have the moderator welcome the press and introduce the issue and participants. Each participant should present for no more than 3 to 5 minutes, making his or her 3 to 5 key points. After all the presentations, the moderator should entertain any questions from the press and direct questions to the appropriate participants. After about 45 minutes, bring the formal conference to an end. Thank the participants for presenting and the media for attending. In many cases, you may want to encourage the media to stay for further informal conversations with the participants. So those are the steps and tips and advice for organizing a press conference and the documents that relate to them. And what happens is I've also included a press advisory as well as a link that shows how to use Canva when creating a press kit. Thank you.